5:59 to 6 takes a really long time.
Here we go. At 6 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. I do want to point out and remind members that we do have the new mics. Remember, you've got to hit the button to turn it. When it's green is when you will be able to be heard, and then you can turn it again to red when you are done speaking. Also, please remember to speak up and use your mic as Ty is behind us, so we want to make sure she's hearing everything we're saying. Did you catch all that? Okay. And with that, we will go into Pledge of Allegiance with Trustee Simpson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good evening, trustees. Good evening to those who are here from the community. Trustees, I'm going to jump into tonight's good news. You'll kind of notice a theme of recognizing our employees this evening. So as we get going here, trustees, I've mentioned this in the past, but I will continue to revisit it from time to time because it's important. It's important that we not only recognize our people, but we also recognize the support of our community and the investment our community makes in our schools. And so as such, we've developed a partnership with LISD here in town. We call it our Sugar and Shine Donut Drop-ins, where some of our staff are nominated each week, and then LISD donates donuts, and Ms. Adams-Zack gets the privilege of traveling around the district and dropping these off to people and recognizing them. So I won't go through everybody name by name, but I do bet you recognize most, if not all of them anyway. I would encourage you just take a peek at Facebook from time to time, and you'll notice that when we do this, our staff get many, many comments of appreciation and recognition and love, and so I just want to extend my own thank you to each of our staff members for their dedication, kindness, and hard work on behalf of our Tecumseh Public School students. So staying in that same lane, trustees, you know these as well. This is our shout-out series, and we've been running these shout-outs, and I will tell you they just continue to pour in one after another. This time for Jamie Torres, who's an instructional assistant at Sutton ELC. And Jamie always goes above and beyond for the students and staff. She does anything asked of her and always does it with a smile on her face. Her generous, caring spirit and kind nature show through in everything she does. She truly is a Sutton superhero. And if you know her, she truly is a Sutton superhero. And just as a reminder, trustees, the shout-out link is actually on our Facebook page, and we don't actually always know where these come from. Could be coming from kids, could be coming from community members, parents, or even other staff members. So in another one, this one came for the entire high school counseling team. A huge and heartfelt shout out to the counseling team for their incredible care, commitment, and compassion that they bring to our students every single day. Their readiness to meet students where they are, whether it be academically, socially, emotionally, truly makes a difference in the lives of our entire school community. I won't read the rest, but it is there for you, and you can find it on Facebook. Another one for Lisa Kilbarger, who's an instructional assistant here at the high school. Lisa is outstanding. She spends countless hours in and out of the classroom learning material to ensure that she completely understands the concepts so that she can assist students at a deeper level. The connections she makes with students is something every teacher and assistant should strive for. She truly cares for each student and takes the time to learn about them and their passions. No one is more deserving of a staff shout out than Lisa. She truly puts in so much time and dedication that helps students become successful. And the last shout out is a third grade teacher, Allie Heft, over at Tecumseh Acres. And someone writes, Mrs. Heft shows up daily, striving to make Acres an inclusive and loving space. She finds the magic in every child and truly brings out their best potential. Trustees, these are These are the employees that make the Tecumseh Public Schools a special place for kids and families, and even for me. Next up, trustees, and we haven't done one of these in a while, and he just happens to be here this evening. This is in part why I did it. We haven't done these in a while, but this is our version of a staff spotlight series that's called This Is Us. And if you'll remember, we've done these in the past, and we always ask staff the same three questions. The first question being, what do you enjoy most about working in Tecumseh Public Schools? What is the one thing you wish people knew most about the work that you do? And what do you enjoy doing in your free time? So, Simon shared that the best part of working at Tecumseh is the people. He specifically named his colleagues and his students, and he shares that his colleagues have provided constant support, and the students have helped develop such a supportive and caring culture in the choir room that it feels like home. Simon wants others to know just how much heart and effort goes into building a thriving choir program. He works really hard to create a sense of belonging and community by organizing both monthly concerts and social events so that choir isn't just another class that kids go to. And when he's not inspiring students, Simon enjoys playing disc golf, board games, recording audiobooks, and singing at special events like Renaissance fairs and Christmas parties. Further, and you should know this, in the summer, he and his wife love writing together and creating companion stories. So Simon, thank you for bringing music, community, and heart to the Tecumseh Public Schools. And so, as such, speaking of music, community, and heart, Simon and I have been working to plan this, and we had a plan, and then something happened, and we had a plan. Anyway, trustees, I have a treat for you this evening. Simon is here with members of the choir, and I'm going to turn it over to them. They're going to share a few words, and then they're actually going to sing for us. Simon, take it away.
Good evening. My name is Madison, and I'm the president of the Choir Council and a singer in Tecumseh Chamber Singers. Today we will be performing for you Good Night Dear Heart by Band Forest. This is one of two songs we performed at MSVMA Festival where we scored a 1, the highest ranking we could have received. This piece reflects on grief and loss based on a text written by Mark Twain. Warm summer sun, shine kindly here. Warm summer wind, blow softly here. Green set above, lie light. Good night, dear heart, good night. We are incredibly grateful to have the opportunity to share it with you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Okay, President Brooks, that wraps up tonight's good news. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you guys so much. That was incredible. And I need to find the agenda again. Okay, that takes us to public comment. Do we have any public comment before I read the blurb? No, then we will move on. Do we have any revisions or of the agenda? I'm not aware of any.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as set. Roll call vote. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. And chair votes aye. That will take us into schedule reports, and our first one up is Key Club.
Okay, trustees, I invited the Key Club this evening to come and share a little bit about all of the things that they do, and I asked them to keep it inside of a handful of minutes. So they won't be able to tell you all of the pieces, but they'll be able to give you a great sense. And when I had originally invited them, Lisa and I had been talking about this as one of the Key Club leaders, and she informed me that the students are going to entirely present tonight. So if you would, please just make sure you introduce yourself, and then you can jump in and get started.
Hello everyone, my name is Claire Kuzna and I was this year's president of Key Club. And before we get started, I'd like to thank the board for having us today and then also our advisors, Mrs. Hedrick and Mrs. Rainey. So Key Club is an organization led by student officers, and it operates in partnership with the Kiwanis Club of Tecumseh. It is an international service organization for high school students aiming to develop leadership, character, and community service. You might have also heard of Builders Club, which is the middle school version of Key Club. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about our leadership things we've done this year. We've done a bunch of events this year, so here are some of our highlights. For our fall and winter events, we were part of a grant committee. We had Christmas caroling, helped with Apple Pumpkin, did the Kiwanis flags around town. We did bell ringing for Salvation Army, and then also built a float for the Christmas parade. For some of our spring events, we had the Spring Fling Dodgeball fundraiser and donation. So we got a group of students together, and we had 4 teams, 1 from each grade, and half of the proceeds for that event went to the Lenawee Humane Society. We also helped with the Tux rental, Key Club bingo night, or Kiwanis bingo night, and then the kindergarten roundup. And then the new service award, we added that this year, and it requires 2 years of paid membership, 10 hours of community service, and then the application will be submitted by the deadline, and we had 2 students earn that this year.
Hello everyone, I'm Maddie McFarland. I was this year's webmaster, and then I'll be taking Claire's spot as president in the fall. So I'm going to talk about the pillar of character. And pictured on the left is Piper Holtz at our Christmas parade. So she was this year's secretary, and she's currently working on the Kiwanis International Global Leadership Certificate. And you must complete 40 online units, and then this helps foster leadership skills, and it's a great thing to add to resumes. And then we also, in the fall, did grant writing for a fundraiser. Unfortunately, we did not get the grant, but we received great feedback on it, so we are hoping to reapply next year. Hello everybody, I'm Skylar Studer, and while I was a member during this year of Key Club, next year I will be taking the spot of editor. And so today I would like to talk to you a little bit more about the service that we do for Key Club. And one of the major events that we had this year was bell ringing for the Salvation Army, and what was so exciting about that was the fact that 100% of the student volunteers that signed up showed up. So that was just a really exciting thing to have all of the people come through and, you know, show accountability and stuff like that. And another event that we had just recently was the kindergarten roundup, and for that we took their fingerprints, so in case anything were to happen, the parents would have a record to give to people just in case, you know, in times of crisis. And so that was working with in partnership with the Kiwanis Club and Tecumseh Public Schools, and I was one of the volunteers there, and it was really cute to see all the kids going to kindergarten because they were really excited. But I will pass this on to Allison.
Hi, I'm Allison Billings, and I was the Key Club Bulletin editor for this year. And in total, with all of our members in Key Club, we have amassed over 235 volunteer hours reported. And then I would like to thank everyone for coming and listening to our presentation.
Hey, thank you all so much. Trustees, any questions before they run? I think they're running.
The next time you do a dodgeball fundraiser, you should get some of us adults involved.
All right.
Absolutely. That sounds like a lot of fun. That's all right. I'll take a black eye. Wouldn't be the first time. Well, thank you very much, Key Club. And that takes us to our Board of Education Student Rep Report from Cole Tucker. Tucker Cole.
It's okay. 2 first names. That's what I always say. Hi. Well, it's nice to meet all you guys again this April, and I'm sorry for a little bit more informal garb this time. I came from track practice, so I didn't have the time to switch into something nice. But still, I'm excited to be here. And again, thank you guys for having me. A lot has happened since I last talked with you guys. April has been a really big month in the high school. I didn't realize it myself going into it, but so much has happened. And leading off, perhaps the most obvious that recently occurred was prom and after prom this last Saturday. Prom was held at the Adrian Armory, which was an amazing experience for all the kids attending, as it wasn't a super far drive away, and it made it achievable for some of the juniors and seniors to still go out to Ann Arbor, go to Toledo, have dinner, but still come back somewhere close to home, so you're not driving an hour and a half, 2 hours, all the way back in the middle of the night to come to prom. And then after prom, the activity night of sorts that's held after prom at the high school went from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. was also a huge success and a ton of fun for the students. It definitely achieved its goal of keeping kids out of trouble on a night where so much could go wrong, with the raffle of mini fridges and TVs for juniors and seniors to win being the incentives to stay. That's probably one of the most, I think, desired or most exciting events for all the upperclassmen at the end of the year, because who doesn't want to win a mini fridge for college to keep in your college dorm? And it's really, really successful at keeping kids out on a night where, I know we have certain scholarships made for it. Drunk driving or unsafe, just really unsafe practices can occur, and it's a good way to keep the high schoolers focused on having fun and in THS, where we know that they're safe as a community. The only complaint that I have for this one is that I heard a significant amount on was the overwhelming presence of sophomores and freshmen at the prom who are not the actual dates of others. It's become sort of a common practice almost to, if I have a sophomore friend who I want to come to prom with me, but I just say that he's my date of sorts, and you buy my ticket for him, and he can come to the prom. And I don't think it's definitely not an issue for actual dates of prom people. But at a certain extent, I think we had 10 plus sophomores who weren't the actual dates of people coming to prom this year, and I heard juniors and seniors complain about it. And while there's no clear-cut way to handle the issue, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up that an overwhelming amount of people came to me like, we're not really happy about it, and I was like, I don't know what to do, but I definitely wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. The high school also just recently sent 4 seniors, Olivia Serper, Lucas Gray, Laura Stafort, and myself to the All-SEC Academic Award Ceremony, where we, alongside other students across the SEC, were honored for our dedication to academics. It was a fun experience. It was a ton of fun and an amazing experience where Tecumseh High School was represented. We had Mr. Dorsey escorting us to the event in school vans, and we got to have a really, really nice lunch at Weber's Hotel. And it was a super exciting experience because all of us got dressed up in suits and more formal attire than I think we're used to, and got a chance to make connections and talk to a lot of other kids at schools that I didn't even realize were in the SEC, to be honest, people who I don't think I would normally talk to. So it was a ton of fun, and all of us said that it was a really worthwhile experience that we got to do. Another recent outing in the community was when the high school Student Success Advisory Council (SSAC) went to the middle school and talked to the rising freshmen about high school and what to expect. Common themes included not being afraid to try new sports and extracurriculars, the challenges and reward to finding new friends, and some basic personal hygiene tips, because sometimes the 8th graders and freshmen don't really seem to get those when they come here. And that was I got to be a part of that experience, and it was really, really exciting to get to see the next group of 8th graders and just kind of let them know from our experience. We had a vast array of students. We had people in the band. We had Andrew McKinchak, the son of Mr. McKinchak, the band teacher. We had people who've been in one sport, people in 3 sports, people who don't do any at all and really are super into theater and performing arts, and it was a really cool experience for us all to get to connect with the 8th graders in a different way based off of our individual experiences, because we had an open question format at the end after where we let them come up and ask us questions. And I definitely think even if it helped one kid have a smoother transition from the big jump of 8th grade to freshman year, that it was definitely worth it. We're also in preparation for the class of 2026's graduation, with our class having only 13 days of school left. While it's been an awfully reminiscent few weeks, I have seen the class come together in ways I haven't before, as the shared consensus that this is all we have left with one another sinks in, and it shows the positive memories and times that Tecumseh Public Schools gave to all 194 of us. It's really weird. It's like the last 30 days or so, everybody's really kind of like came out of their cliques almost and really started to be like, you know what, we're all graduating soon, and everyone starts to hang out with one another and kind of break away from, I think, the preset groups that we've always been in so long. And it's been just a super, super cool and like heartwarming experience to talk to kids who I normally haven't talked to, or see other people making connections right before it is the end, because it's sinking in for a lot of people. Like my friend the other day was like, we only have like 13 more lunches with each other, and it starts to really set in of you only get to do that and eat the amazing Tecumseh cafeteria's food here 13 more times. So it was a really, it like set in the moment of it all. We also just had spring testing a few weeks ago with our freshmen and sophomores taking the pre-SAT and the juniors taking the SAT. From what I heard, it went super smoothly, and a lot of people said the test was pretty easy. So I'm hoping for some good score reports for you guys in the upcoming year. I don't know how they'll look, but a lot of people said that they felt confident, so I think it's definitely a good sign. And similar to testing, we have AP testing fast approaching, with the first one only a week away on next Monday. While many are nervous, it marks the time of year so many Tecumseh students earn themselves college credit and save thousands of dollars in tuition. And I want to say the staff here have done an amazing job of prepping all the AP students for the tests. I have not, in all my other 2 other years of taking AP tests, I haven't felt this prepared and really ready to take on my last round of them than this year. And I think it's just a testament to our staff's dedication to teaching us and their commitment to academics and bettering us as students. And it's been a really, really good experience. I feel confident, and I think the rest of my classmates would say the same as well. We also have a ton of sports, more than ever. I normally give a huge sports update, but I do not know. I have it here. We have so many sports taking place right now, with girls tennis, baseball, softball, track and field, men's lacrosse, girls lacrosse, boys golf, and girls soccer, all finding success on the fields, tracks, and pitches they play on. I could not go through all of the results of all the games because I was trying to find highlights, and the season's not even done. But from what I've heard, we're all doing really, really good in every single sport, and everyone's finding success. And it's been a really, really cool experience to see. Just I'm on the track team, but I hear from my friends who are soccer captains or my friends who are members of the boys lacrosse team. Everyone is really, really doing good, especially boys baseball. They had a game tonight, and I know the boys baseball is undefeated in the SEC. I know our girls softball team's been doing really, really good as well. And I just wanted to point out, we have so many athletic events going on in sports. And let's see, what else do I have? And to end off on the seniors ending and others exciting new beginnings, Rise Up Day will be happening soon after the seniors have the last day. This day is when current 8th graders will travel to the high school and receive personalized tours of the high school from upperclassmen. It offers an exciting look of what the high school will look like with their future classmates still in the building. It is also the day that the hundreds of the You Matter posters in the hallway are taken by SOS, Students of Support, as the 8th graders will write down a reason they matter, emphasizing the importance of mental health in the times we live in with social media. We emphasized this on the SAC when we went to them, as you guys look out, there's dotted all of the hallways. You have the You Matter posters that everyone takes when they're a freshman. And we tried to emphasize to create a serious message of something that means something to you, because on graduation day, you will receive the poster of you as a freshman. And I've heard it is nothing more humbling than looking at the eyes of freshman you, seeing what you thought was, what mattered to you in the moment. And maybe it's changed, maybe it's stayed the same. But I've heard that it's a really full circle moment. And we tried to emphasize that to the 8th graders. Don't put, I know one of my friends put, I matter because I have the moves like Jagger. And I think he's going to look at it, he's like, maybe I should have put something a little more serious on it. So we did try and emphasize that, but that's an exciting event. All the seniors will be gone, but it's something super, super cool of the 8th graders get to come up and they'll see all of the seniors next year, juniors next year, sophomores next year, and what the vibe of the high school is going to be like, which I think is really cool. And it's smaller tour groups, so they get definitely, you can ask, can we go see the band room? Can we go see the gym? Can we see the locker room area? So it's really, really cool that everyone gets to ask a lot of questions and see what they want to see. And I want to thank all of you for allowing me to serve as your student representative over the last year. I've grown so much from this position, and it has really allowed me to fully understand the depth and diversity of all THS students. Again, I want to thank you so much, and I know that next year you have an amazing student rep, and I hope that they surpass everything that I've done, and I've just felt super, super honored to get to do this. I wrote it on my college applications. This has been one of the most transformative leadership opportunities that I've been afforded, as I know maybe it might be boring, but to see how a board works and the actual functions of it all has been super, super eye-opening to me, and I'm just so thankful for all the time that I've taken out of you guys this last year, and just thank you guys so much, and that's all I had to say. Yeah.
So Tucker, first of all, thank you for the outstanding job that you did as the student rep. I think you set the bar really, really high for going into next year. It has been, you are thanking us, but what I would like to say to you is just thank you for coming and preparing and honestly sharing the student perspective here at the board table. It is really, really meaningful. So thank you. I'm sure a couple of the other trustees might want to say a word or two, and then I promised your mother a picture, so we have to do that, okay? Okay.
Well, Tucker, we wish you all the best. During COVID, I think I funded one of your animals for 4-H, so it's been fun to watch you kind of grow and change through your school career, and thank you for joining us, but I wish you all the best in school. I know you have big plans. Not sure which big plan you picked, but I know you have big plans, and so we'll see you at graduation as well, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would just add that I think you have done a tremendous job of bringing the student perspective to the board. Right, and that can be a little hard to get here, right? You know, things come through here relatively filtered. And each time you've come in prepared with things to tell us that are helpful to know, that are insightful, and that are representative of your classmates and the other students. And I think we're all appreciative of that, and that you've done a tremendous job. I think you're going to do great wherever you go, and I certainly wish you the best.
I would certainly echo all of that. We really thought when our last student rep was done that it would be really hard to top, and boy, I don't know what the next person's going to do, because you have just been amazing. Absolutely everything Dr. Martinez said, and we just wish you all the best. We're going to miss you.
I'll miss you guys.
But we do look forward to seeing you walk across that stage.
Yes.
Okay, trustees, I really did tell Jamie that we would take a picture, so let's please go take that picture.
She says, you need to take a photo, Tucker. So we might have to edit your
Yeah, we're going to put a AI suit on your
Okay, that's a good idea.
biggest issue what you do when you get out of here?
So I know I'm moving a little far away, I think, so it'll be exciting.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think I'll be going to New York, so.
Nice. Well,
Yeah, so I'm going to Cornell next year, so I'm excited.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Graduation.
Well, I mean, we've had all this fun stuff, and now we have budget stuff. Sorry.
That's you, Steve.
Yeah, make it fun.
Well, you know, they really set the bar high. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not going to sing. But, you know, as a budget person that works with numbers, and hearing Mr. Cole's report this evening, listening to the achievements of the Key Club, and listening to the choir, I can't wait to come to work tomorrow. It makes schools worth it. That's my comments. Back to the agenda. For the Budget Committee, we met last week, Monday, and the reports that we went over will be the second item we talk about, but I wanted to go over some other items that we talked about at the committee meeting that are very important, sort of a coming attractions type of a thing. I mentioned some things, I think, last month about the budget and how things are coming along and what this year is looking, how it's unfolding. I was able to share some of those tentative numbers with the committee to give them an idea of what to expect to see because when we meet again in May, we only have one meeting, so our budget committee meeting's at 5 and the board meeting's at 6, and so there was too much to pull into that. And so we spent some time going over that. It is positive. If you don't remember, I'll remind you, the last budget that we adopted back in, I believe it was January, had an operating deficit budget for the year of just over, I think it was about $350,000-$360,000, someplace in that neighborhood. The numbers that we're looking at now are positive, albeit small. I had to make some other adjustments since that meeting, but it's about $150,000 or so positive right now. So it's almost like a $500,000 turnaround, which isn't chump change. So we're sitting in a much better place than I thought we were at the time in January. And in all honesty, and I shouldn't say this because I'm going to jinx myself, from what I can see happening in the budget, if I'm getting all the data correctly, we most likely will even be a little bit better than that by the time things get tied out. We still have a lot of work to do to close out the year, and we're going to continue to do that. One of the business items that, so you'll get that report next month, and then you obviously won't vote on it until your June 8th meeting. And then one of the things that we will be bringing to you hopefully by the 18th is a form called L-4029. That's a tax rate request form. That's the official form that we send to the county to authorize the levy of our taxes for our operating budgets for the next year. General fund, the 18 mills on non-homestead, the sinking fund, the debt retirement fund. Those have to be approved by you and sent on to the collection agency so they can get their summer tax bills ready. I can't tell you what that number is going to be yet because we haven't received our new taxable values from the state of Michigan. We're limited in terms of what we can collect. I'm not sure I don't know the economics of this area. But for example, the taxable value went up in the state was a 2.7% multiplier. In Holly, our property values grew by 5%, which you'd say, great, we got 5% new money. Well, hold on. There's a law, it's called Headley, and it has a millage reduction fraction, and it says you can't collect any more on the taxes than the rate of inflation from the prior year. So So if it is up higher, you have to sort of roll back your millage rate slightly. That doesn't affect the debt fund, because the debt fund has a legal debt obligation that we have to pay. But it does affect our sinking fund, and it could affect the general fund with the 18 mills, albeit we have a little extra within there to get us by on that. So we will do those calculations, and as soon as we get them from I've been in contact with the county already, and hope to have those numbers soon. And so we'll have that form ready for you. I'm not sure what their work process is here at the county and how they collect it and getting the tax bills out. It's possible. I know it goes against your norms, but if they need that sooner than later, waiting until June 8th to approve it really isn't an option, because they have to get the tax bills to the printer and get those done so that they're in the mail, so they're out by July 1st. So we may ask you to do, I don't know what the rules are here in this county, but we'll get with them and find out. But I know that in Oakland County, my township people like them by June 1st. So we'll see what happens. But it's a normal thing that happens every year. It's just a process, and again, we can't do that until we get the new taxable values. So we'll be able to share that with you at that time. So good news is we're working forward, already thinking about next year, and we're getting ready to close out this year. So all good stuff. That takes us into the next part of the reports, which are the monthly financial reports that you have. The treasurer's, I'll just mention them. I'm not going to comment necessarily on any, but I'll take any questions. The treasurer's report, which shows our different payrolls from the month of March and our different accounts payables, total just under $3 million, $2,929,565. Gives you a list of the checks from the check register that were in those expenses that we talked about. It provides a summary revenue and expenditure. These numbers are changing, and when you see them in the next period, which would be month 10, which is April, that we're working on right now, we'll have adjusted the budget to update ourselves in terms of where we are. And the current state aid status report and what's happening there. So pretty normal stuff. I mean, nothing out of line this month. And so I guess I'm more to answer questions on those reports. I know the Finance Committee had them last week. You had them over the weekend, so I'll sort of stop there.
Any questions?
Oh, I like it when the plan comes together.
And you went from a deficit to non-deficit, so you did a great job.
It was a lot of work by a lot of people so far in watching their budgets and communicating with our office and reaching out and getting information, and we're on the right track.
Well, thank you for all of your hard work.
Thank you, Steve.
Yep, thank you.
So, trustees, up next tonight, we're moving on to discussion items. We have Valerie is here with some students, and she's going to do a couple of things. You'll notice two bullet items on your agenda. One is the trip to Costa Rica, and one is a proposed trip to Peru. I'm going to pull my stuff up, and then Valerie's going to kind of walk you through both of these agenda items at the same time.
I'm going to start by letting the kids kind of introduce themselves and tell you some of the most exciting parts for them and things that were the most educational, like exciting, fun stuff that they kind of learned on our past trip to Costa Rica. And then I'll kind of mix the two of them together and then talk about our future trip. So I will ask you guys to start introducing yourselves. Let's see. Who's doing this?
Hi, my name is Carson Benzing, and in the image in the bottom right corner, that's us learning how to make tortillas, which I thought was a really fun experience. That cooking class was just a great way to be able to engage in the culture in a fun way and, get something to eat. It was very good. And we actually did our own tortilla making when we met for our first time in the World Languages Club. So that was a very fun experience. I really enjoyed that.
Hi, my name is Maya Whelan. I'm actually a French student, but I want to go on the Spanish trip. And I was able to go, on the bottom left you can see, I got to go to a fruit stand, which was like the top thing I wanted to do while I was there. And it was really cool to learn a new language that I knew nothing about. And the culture was super cool. We got to make these ox carts and learn by painting them, building them, and we also got to see them sing and dance, which was a really cool thing.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Solis, and one of my personal favorite things while we went to Costa Rica was being able to visit the school. The school was such an educational experience, being able to go and visit and see how they went and did their everyday lives, and we got to actually play in PE with them, with soccer, volleyball, whatever we chose, and we made some really nice connections. We added some of them. We were able to make some friendships, and I really enjoyed being able to immerse ourselves in the culture and language.
Some other things you might see up here, we did get to go real deep into the woods, into the forest, and have some night animal creepy crawlers, and some of those are, you can see a scorpion and some frogs, and there was lots of different experiences. I don't think there was an experience we didn't experience. We were on the go. We didn't stop at all. We were just get in the bus, go, stop here, learn this, see this, sleep. Get in the bus, go, let's learn the next thing. And so there was no time for error. There was no time for any funny business. We were always learning something, and our tour guide was just exceptional. So these kids had really stressed that it was such an awesome part of their learning, whether they were in French class or Spanish class. And they're really excited to hopefully go on another one in the future. So we were thinking, and I'm thinking and I'm hoping and praying that we can maybe do another one of these. We were looking at Peru. So Peru, I'd actually been in class one day, and the students were talking about their world. Oh, there is some more pictures. They were just, right there's fine. Those are some of the more adventure fun things we got to do that was outside of the educational. We got to do whitewater rafting and zip lining and all the things. So when I was in class, some kids were talking about their AP World class, and they kept talking about Machu Picchu. And so I'm wonderful cross-curriculum. So we had started talking a lot about Machu Picchu, and it turns out a lot of kids know a lot about it and want to learn more. So there is a really cool program that I'll show you guys as we kind of go through. If we could go to the next slide. So in our curriculum here and everywhere in the United States, we based off of what's called ACTFL. This is the foreign language guide, and basically every state for foreign languages goes off of this for their teachers. So we have the 5 C's of world language learning, and under each of all of these, this one really is what we did in Costa Rica, and then I will kind of show you with the itinerary what we're going to kind of hit in there for our learning in Peru. But right here we have communication, so the kids just got to have that authentic experience speaking in Spanish to other people. As Maya said, she had to get to that fruit stand and she had to communicate in Spanish, whether she wanted to or not. Even though she was a French student, she had to do it. And that was one of the biggest, most authentic things, going to those markets and things and speaking with people. The connection, so linking languages with history and culture, and those cross-curriculum things, like we hear about the things from the science classes when we were in learning about the ecosystems in the forest. We learned about history, we learned about Spanish and culture and all those fun things. So there was just so many connections to make there. Comparison, cultural perspectives and daily norms, that was really hit when we stopped and we talked, when we went to the school and talked to the locals. One real cool thing with the program is that they really let us interact with the local people, with our tour guide the whole time. Communication, real-time conversation, communities. So again, that was us getting right into their community and actually meeting the real people, interacting with the kids and having that authentic experience. And then the culture, local economy, their daily life. We actually found out that in Costa Rica, and we don't have time to tell the whole story, but nobody has an address in Costa Rica, and almost no one gets mail because you have to say, if it's real important, like government mail, my house is the one 2 blocks over from Walmart, beside the one with the big palm tree in the front, and it's the one with the red door, and that's what goes on the mail. So you very rarely get mail in Costa Rica, and that was one of the really cool local things that we learned that we wouldn't necessarily learn in just a Spanish class, because it's just a very specific thing. Next slide. So again, this is kind of something that I was basically talking about, so I will skip this slide. So it is all very meaningful in the classroom, but also just getting out there, building those lifelong connections, the excitement, wanting to learn more. These kids really have been trying harder and harder and wanting to speak more fluently because of these experiences. Next slide. This is the plan for next time. So the company is the same. It is, we went with World Strides. This is just Explorica by World Strides. So the same rep and everything talking with us. It is just, I think, a better bang for your buck with this sister company with the same rep. But as you can see, we have our daily itinerary, and a lot of the things are broken down, like day 2, when we're there in Lima, the capital, we'll be looking at the government there, the government buildings, we'll be talking about the religion, the colonial history, and then using the Spanish in the real world context. Because we'll of course have a tour guide that's both English and Spanish. Then we'll actually go to the Incan civilization and get to explore, go to those really native markets that are really cool up there, and basically get to explore another authentic hands-on experience with lots of things for them to do. Yeah. So as you can see, this is the next steps in the proposal. So we would obviously finalize our itinerary, put in all the educational things we want into our itinerary to finalize it. The registration would be for incoming 9th through 12th graders. It would basically anyone who's interested in learning culture, language, regardless. I found it was really cool for some of these kids to just keep on learning even though they weren't in that language at school. And then I would host some informational nights for the parents and kind of move forward with that. Did you guys have any questions for me?
I have one.
Yes.
Looking through the information we had in the packet, it had said there was possibility of scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Is that funded through the district, or where does that money come
That is funded through World Strides Explorica.
And is that a need-based program?
So they have both. You do have to apply and get in. They do have a need-based program where there are like the income-based. It's like a lower, kind of like a sliding scale. But then they also have other scholarships where you have to like write essays and do that sort of thing, kind of like a traditional scholarship for it.
As a district, do we have a way to look at this when students are interested and engaged if there's money issues for them?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And that's a great question. Valerie and I have also been talking about some fundraising for this trip, but we would take those as case-by-case situations and communicate individually with families and make sure that we are doing our work such that anybody who really wants to go can go.
What's the cost per student?
Yeah, so it's just shy of $4,000. And that's like everything all rolled in included.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, trustees, next up is a discussion item tonight. I have the pleasure of sharing a few donations that have come in. The first one, these are in your packet, the first one is from BoE Boys in the amount of $400, which was dedicated to supporting our after-prom activities that we held for the kids this past weekend. The second one is from the Indian Fan Club in the amount of $1,000, dedicated to, again, the after-prom activities that we held this past weekend. And the third one is from Mr. Robert Torres in the amount of $4,000, which is dedicated to the support of our Tecumseh wrestling program. I would like to give a heartfelt thank you to the generous donors and for their support of our schools, our kids, and all of the things that we do here in the Tecumseh Public Schools. So I'll pause here if there are any questions. Okay, next up tonight is a leave of absence request. Trustees, board policy actually requires that the Board of Education as a whole approve any staff leave of absence that exceeds 1 school year. So we have Mrs. Madison Pelham, who's been a teacher at Sutton for a number of years. She is currently on a 1-year leave of absence to staying home with her family. She would like to extend this leave for another year or extend it into the 26-27 school year. I would recommend that you approve this additional leave of absence for Ms. Pelham, and you would vote on it in May, but I will pause here if you have any questions.
So how are we covering Mrs. Pelham at this time in the district?
So we did hire behind Mrs. Pelham this year, and we have, I believe it was Kyle Kuba, but anyway, we did hire behind her this year. Our certifications are such that I really do believe we would be able to place her.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll know, and we'll also probably know more by May.
For sure. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but she wouldn't come back until 27, 28.
But we'll know kind of.
We'll know where we are heading into 26, 27, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, last item up for discussion tonight is the LISD budget update. Trustees, you know this, you've done it. You'll vote to approve the ISD's annual budget in May, just as all the other school districts within the ISD do as well. So tonight is a first briefing of the highlights of the ISD's budget. In your packet, it's lengthy. It's a 30-plus page summary document that summarizes an otherwise 600-plus page budget. So what I'm going to try to do is just highlight a couple of the highlights, if you will. So in the area of general services, there's a desire to continue the 31N, or mental health services for districts, that comes in the form of social workers and other things. There's a desire to continue the early mathematics consultant services, and whether that gets funded through the 23H grant or other sources, the ISD is committed to that. They're committed to continuing their tech support and services, including software, and continuing to carry some of the costs for licenses that are currently funded by the ISD. In the area of special education, the commitment is to continue to close the gap towards 100% funding in special ed. In career and tech, there's a continued commitment to the career prep grant funding that will continue for local districts. And in the area of what I might call other efforts to support local districts, there's talk of parenting education resources and connections to other community resources, as well as the ISD facilitating some assistance and periodic training for human resource professionals. It is quite lengthy, trustees. I will pause here, and certainly if you have any questions now, I'd be happy to. Most likely I have to take them back and seek answers and come back to you, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them now.
So I think each percentage is different per district. What is our reimbursement percentage? And how does that rate versus other districts?
I know exactly what you're asking. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll find our percentage and where we stand relative to the other districts.
Are they still funding our computer class?
Yes.
And are they giving any more out for those kinds of CTE programs?
So there's a long approval process that you have to go through to get an approved CTE course. So they are adding courses, but it's not a, we have to essentially put forth, and Megan, if I fumble here, let me know.
We get one per district still.
One per district, okay.
Okay.
And I did give you all this little handout that they gave us to share with the board as well.
For ELS, was that something that they were covering for a time being, and then we had to pick it up?
They were covering it, and the commitment is for them to still cover it.
Okay.
As of now. Now the budget hasn't been passed, and we're still waiting on some pieces from the state, but yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that will take us to action items.
So I move to approve the non-general fund budgets as presented by the Budget Committee and Administration.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the non-general fund budget. Roll call vote. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
And chair votes aye.
I move to approve the food service contract renewal with Aramark for the 26-27 school year as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the food service contract renewal. Roll call vote. Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
Excuse me. Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
I move to approve the math curriculum adoption as presented by the administration.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the math curriculum. Roll call vote. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? And Trustee Davis?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. And that will take us to the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda from the board meeting from April 13th, 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and approved to accept the consent agenda. Roll call vote. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. That will take us to closed session. Excuse me. Closed session pursuant to Public Act 267 of 1976, Section 8B, closed session student discipline hearing pursuant to Michigan Open Act, Section 8B.
I move that we enter closed session to discuss student discipline.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into closed session for student discipline. Roll call vote. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. We are now in closed session.
B109, across the hall.
You, sir.
B109. Is Caroline staying here?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
That was it?
There's one more.
But they're not here.
Are we all here?
Yep.
Yes, Madam President.
7:58, we are back in open session. Who's got the resolution?
I have the resolution. I thought there was going to be more than we were.
Oh, we don't need a lot of fanfare.
Okay, got it. The board resolves that the administration has recommended that a student whose identity is known to the board be expelled. The preponderance of the evidence established that the student engaged in conduct in violation of the Code of Conduct. The board carefully considered the revised school code 7 factors under section 1310D. During the time of the expulsion, the student may not be on school grounds or attend any functions at the district without prior written approval from an appropriate administrator. Consistent with the board's actions taken this evening, the district, through its administrators, will meet with the students' parents and guardians to ensure that appropriate educational services are provided to which the student may be entitled under the Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act. Administrators are directed and authorized to implement all terms of this resolution and are delegated all necessary authority to do so.
Second that.
I second that.
Was there an initial?
No, he needs to make a,
Somebody move.
The initial motion. Yes, yes, she can't.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I move we approve the resolution as read by our true representative.
second.
Excuse me, with the motion having been made and seconded, we go into a roll call vote. Trustee Davis? Aye. Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. I think I must have taken my,
Here, you need this.
I do. Thank you. Oh, no, I have this. Yeah, the next, thank you. Pursuant,
Consider disciplinary measures.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded that we are going back into closed session for disciplinary measures. Roll call vote. Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. We are back in closed session at 8:01.
What?
No,
Why
it
would
sits
we
there.
replace him?
That sits there. He has a prom picture. Is he gonna do a TikTok?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, buddy got to go to prom. I love it.
Listen, you gotta send that to me, please.
That's got to go on
That's going on
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
They look like they broke up at the prom.
Was Daisy your date, buddy?
All right, are we all here? Looks like it.
No, we need
I won't let the silence go on this time.
That's all right.
Bring it.
We are back in open session at 9:02.
The board has had a student discipline hearing for a student whose identity is known
and the board has recommended permanent expulsion of the student for a violation of the Student Code of Conduct. The board did carefully consider the 7 factors set out in Revised School Code, Section 1310D. The student is a student with a disability and thus is entitled to or may be entitled to certain services and education during the expulsion, and the district will provide those in accordance with state and federal law. The administrators are directed and authorized to implement all terms of this resolution and are delegated the authority to do so.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded on the resolution. Roll call vote. Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee McGee? Aye. Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That will bring us to board comment. Actually, I'm sorry, it brings us to Mr. Hilton and next meeting.
Certainly, trustees. The next Board of Education meeting will be on Monday, May 18th. That's a little bit different than our normal schedule. It is the third Monday in May. That will be the next board meeting. You will certainly hear some follow-up from this evening on a few of the presentations. There'll be some votes, and this is the meeting where we intend to present to you the first briefing of where we believe the 25-26 budget will land. After that, there will be study sessions before you vote on it in early June, and I will also be bringing some good news and the superintendent's report as well.
Thank you, Mr. Hilton. Now that will take us to board member comment and discussion. I think we're a little discussed out, maybe. Okay, fair enough. Then I will take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned at 9:04.